Hi there, my name is Courtney Ballard, and today I'm going to share my story with you about my experience of TMS and meeting Steve Ozanich. So, over the course of my life, I experienced what I thought were all sorts of different problems, from mental problems, mental illnesses, to physical problems. When I was a kid, I went through a lot of experiences in life that led me to believe there was something wrong with me. Essentially, like just an overwhelming amount of emotions that I didn't know how to handle. And so through that journey, I ended up in a lot of different therapy, psychiatry, counseling, like you name it. On the mental side, I did it, which those experiences had me diagnosed with things like anxiety, eating disorders for many, many, many years, depression. What happened over time is a lot of those mental problems manifested themselves physically. So as an adult, I was constantly seeking a new fix for something that felt wrong in my body. For most of my 20s, I dealt with like on and off lingering back pain, and it was never anything that was like excruciating. I never felt like, okay, there's something seriously wrong with me, but it was enough to keep me in this loop and cycle of thinking that I always needed a fix. And I don't mean a fix in that like in an addictive way, but I also do like, yes. And with the way I struggled with food, that was kind of the fix for me. It was a way for me to escape my emotions or try to escape myself, because I felt as though the emotions I was experiencing were so overwhelming to me that I couldn't fathom what the pain, like emotionally, physically, would do to me. And for me, and my experience with TMS was often far more emotional than physical, but over the last few years, it did become more physical, where I was having a lot of gut problems. My skin was a huge one for me, where for my teens and most of my 20s, I always felt like there had to be something to fix within my skin and my gut. And every time I would work on one problem, it would lead to yet another. And I remember thinking to myself, this just can't be the way that we were created, that we have endless problems that need fixing. Like if I go to fix something wrong in my gut health, then I have to go fix something else with my back. Like it's something felt off about this idea that I always needed some type of fix, even on a not addictive end. Like countless therapists for my mental health, countless therapists for my physical health, like massage therapists, physical therapists, chiropractors. So what started to change the trajectory of the journey for me, it was about a year ago. My boyfriend had actually been introduced to TMS, Steve Ozanich's work, through a friend. And him and I both had been dealing with a lot of lingering back pain, gut problems, like food stuff. Like it was just always so many different things going on, where I felt like we're like managing all these different areas of our lives. And I woke up one day and I said to him, like, my back hurts so bad. I don't feel like I can go to the event today that we were about to go to. And he just said the words to me, it's really just all in your head. Like, you're okay. Your body's fine. And that planted a seed, because that day I did not experience any more back pain after he said that. I had enough, the key there for me was, though, that I had enough belief and openness to what he had said, that planted a seed to be true. And I had no pain that day. I was actually just fine. And that began the journey, and it wasn't, I didn't go through like an overnight experience with that, because then the pain started to shift and move. And then I started to have stomach problems again, like really amplified stomach problems, and my skin started to go crazy. And what I realized as the pain moved through my body is it was kind of like what felt to me like testing me. And it was a journey for me, and it continues to be a journey for me, to simply just remembering that I am whole. My experience with Steve, which was actually so incredible, and I'm so grateful for my conversations with him, One, just simply through the compassion that he carried for me and all people who struggle with TMS, but more so like coming into the present moment, radical presence, like being here right now. I have no problems physically, mentally, emotionally. Everything is okay. And when I'm fully present with that truth, there is no pain. There is no mental gate of thinking of like, what do I need to fix and what do I need to change? And I know even for myself today, when I find myself going down that path of thinking of something has to be fixed, something has to be changed, I need a pill for this, I need a potion for this, I need a lotion for this, I need a therapist for this, I am leading down this path of forgetting who I really am. And I really, truly believe with everything in me that is the most important part of all of this. And everyone who struggles with pain, with TMS, is it's a journey of remembrance, of remembering who we are, that we were created whole. We didn't come out of our mother's womb needing all these different fixes. And when we have one fix, it's going to lead to another fix. And then that fix is going to lead to, that doesn't make sense with the nature of our creation. And through all of the years of therapy and counseling, and it's not even to say any of those things are bad or wrong. I believe a lot of different methods point to different ways of being that can be really useful for us as humans. But I really do believe if we are ever going on the path of looking for these methods to fix something as wrong with us, we are continuing this cycle and believing that we are broken. And that was such a key part of my journey. And that's what I put so much emphasis on for myself, in how I became pain-free, in how the stomach problems dissipated, and how my skin cleared up, is being able to know who I am and trust that even without all of the quick fixes, which I know even at times are not quick fixes, like even the diets and other paths that don't even seem like quick fixes because they're not a pill, still allude to this idea that something needs to be changed, and that in this moment right now, we don't have everything that we need. So I know that being the core and root of the healing journey for me, that it's available for literally anyone, like anyone who wants to be open, to open up their mind, open up their heart, open up their spirit to recognizing that they are whole. They have the chance and the choice to experience total freedom. So I'm infinitely grateful for Steve, for understanding what was really happening at the root, without all these extra ideas that I kept needing more. And it really speaks to itself that when I got on my call with Steve, he was very transparent, like, this should be the only one that you need. Like, I don't need you to keep coming back and seeing me. That's not the goal. And you think about it, like you go to a doctor and it's like, maybe some of them would say, like, I don't want to see you again. But for the most part, with different modalities of like doctor care and physical therapy and chiropractic, it's leading you to always need to come back. And that's just something to think about. Why do they need me to come back? And Steve never approached it that way, because he knew with his own journey, his own experience of freedom, that was available for myself. That was available for anyone with an open mind. So I'm so grateful for Steve. I'm so grateful for this work, and to be free to live a really healthy, free life where I do exercise and I do yoga and I go on walks just because I love to. Like, I love to be in the enjoyment and physicalities of my body. Like, there's no hindrances for me, but I also don't do them to experience freedom from hindrances. I do them because my body has that capability. I eat foods that are good for me because I love that. I love treating my body like the great vessel that it is, but there's no food that is going to hurt me. And that is so infinitely liberating for someone who has had years of chronic overthinking and analyzing and dieting and trying to fix so many different problems that were never there to begin with.